Jetzt habe ich das Vergnügen, das Wort zu geben an Herrn Professor Christian Ketels. Bueno, ahora tengo el honor de pasar la palabra al profesor Christian Ketels, presidente del Consejo Asesor de Orkestra y Associated Professor en el Instituto de Estrategia y Competitividad de la Universidad de Harvard. Christian, be our guest.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Bart. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know whether it's by design that you move from Spanish to Spanish with a slight Dutch accent to English with a slight German accent, but that's the way it is. So I'm here in my capacity today as the chair of the advisory board to orchestra, which I'm very honored to be. I'm very honored to listen to the presentation today. Luckily, I was able to read the English summary. But at least we learned that economics is not only drama, it can also be very, very well choreographed theater. So I thank the orchestra team for doing that. When we talked a little bit earlier about today, Inaki Penna actually made the comment that these reports are always a very important milestone. A milestone in two dimensions. They're a milestone because they start a process. They hopefully will influence policy, and the minister is here. And I know that the panel is going to look at exactly that. What are we going to do with the results from this work, from the competitiveness analysis? But it's also a milestone that allows us to look back, and we too often forget about this. We continue, we just want to move forward rather than to acknowledge what brought us here. And this is something that we in the orchestra team discussed that we wanted to do today, and really acknowledge an individual that has been very instrumental in bringing us here, in bringing orchestra into the shape that it is to deliver this type of reports. And so I would like to ask an individual to come forward that many of you have known much longer than I have. Some of you know very well, much better than I do, but that I had the chance to get to know a little bit over the last couple of years, and that's John Asua. So John, if you wouldn't mind joining me here in front for a second, that would be great. So we wanted to take the opportunity to thank John for the many different things that you've done for orchestra. And of course, the main thing was it started out with is that you have been instrumental in creating the institution. This is not something that politicians too often do, create institutions that outlive themselves, create something that not just is a policy, but hopefully an instrument that allows their predecessors, others that come to design better policies. And that's one of the key things that you've done that really were instrumental for orchestra to come to life and to be in the shape that it is today. But John did much more. You have been the chair of the advisory board for a number of years and have been steering that group through a very important development of this institution. You have been teaching the microeconomics of competitiveness course within the context of orchestra, and you've been a very strong ally in our international network of MOC schools that also has been instrumental in moving orchestra forward. Now, maybe one of the things that is most important is that you also step back. You put some distance between yourself and orchestra. And that, again, I think is something that not a lot of individuals are able to do. They've created an institution to let it go and let it grow and let it contribute on its own terms. Now, when I thought a little bit about what might have prepared you for this influence on orchestra, I think it's really a word that we've heard a little bit earlier about from Mikel, and that's the idea of a triple helix. Because you started out as a politician, you then became an entrepreneur, and with orchestra you moved into the academic sphere. But I think the reason that orchestra is successful is because it includes all these three elements. You've had to think as a politician to create this institution and to make sure that it survives through different elections, through different administration. You had to be an entrepreneur to create a new institution, otherwise this wouldn't have happened. And you have to be able to think as an academic in order to bring an academic research team together that can do something relevant. So we wanted to take this opportunity to really thank you for the contribution that you've made. And afterwards, we can discuss very controversial about the recommendations of the report. But let me hand over, as a little token of the appreciation of the orchestra team, this document that acknowledges the work that you've done for orchestra over the years.
Thank you much.
John, thank you very much.
Bueno, hoy es un día de coreografía, ¿no? Afortunadamente he sabido elegir los colores. Camisa azul, casi siempre me veis, no con la camisa azul de otros, sino con camisa y traje azul, pero sin olvidar el rojo. Porque, como se ha dicho a lo largo de toda la presentación, el mundo y el futuro que tenemos que innovar no es solo de fashion y moda y 4 nuevas industrias o actividades, sino que tenemos mucho que hacer sobre la base que tenemos en este país y hay que reinventar y recrear y hacer competitiva todo el tejido económico, empresarial que tenemos en el país. Y ese es el verdadero reto. Bueno, dos palabras para agradecer esto. Una, la primera, antes me comentaba Mikel algo que es lo que prefiero decir. Me dice, ten mucho cuidado porque te están retirando. Cuando me llamaron hace unos días para preguntarme si iba a estar hoy aquí en la conferencia y que había interés en hacer algún pequeño reconocimiento, para mí es un gran reconocimiento. La verdad es que lo único que he pensado es en varias de las cosas que Chris ha comentado y que podemos ver aquí, y sobre todo cuando os veo a la mayoría de vosotros. Por encima de todo, la competitividad es un gran viaje. Es un viaje que yo suelo decir, en clase siempre suelo decir, cuando empezamos el curso, la competitividad se hace todos los días y es absolutamente inacabable. Todos los días existe una nueva demanda de la sociedad, nuevas necesidades de las empresas, de los gobiernos, de las instituciones académicas, de las personas que hacen que debamos aprender todos los días de nuestra vida, todos de todos, para poder hacer las cosas. Y yo no sé si son 3, 5 o 10 las hélices que necesitamos poner en consonancia, pero lo que sí sé es el gran esfuerzo que ha supuesto irse actualizando, que tiene que reformar distintas actividades y no perder nunca la esencia y el core que le da vida. Empezamos hace mucho tiempo, fuimos pioneros como país en todo este proceso. Tuvimos la suerte de contar con el apoyo de Harvard y de Michael Porter para poner en marcha algo que iniciábamos 7 escuelas en plan piloto a lo largo del mundo. Hoy, afortunadamente, 120 empresas, universidades e institutos están detrás de esta red de microeconomía de la competitividad, formando gente, investigando y tratando de influir y generar impacto en la sociedad. Y ese es el verdadero esfuerzo que todos los que vamos aprendiendo unos de otros estamos intentando hacer al servicio de esta sociedad. Yo, recordando lo que comentaba Mikel, no me doy por aludido si alguien da este reconocimiento como un retiro. Espero tener la oportunidad de seguir al menos recorriendo este viaje en los próximos 20 años, que espero sea lo que tenga mínimamente fuerza para poder haciendo todas estas cosas. Así que seguiré dando la lata y seguiré intentando hacer cosas ahí donde esté. Así que nada, muchísimas gracias a todos vosotros, a todo el instituto, a todos. Thanks very much, Chris.